these people who care less, but emphasizing the fact that the Selamite order did many things as well as act as a vigil. Creating a new vigil does not mean recreating the Selamite order.
Yes.
Yeah.
The object of the vigil needs to be reinstated. It does not need to be, we can even call it something new. You guys love naming shit.
Yeah. Not all of the goals of the Selamite order and all of their beliefs need to be redone. It's like police.
I'm going to
You can have
download
very corrupt
subterfuge.
police and not corrupt police, or whatever, or even not even that issue. It's different governments enforcing different laws.
Yeah. That will be part of it.
Two
And
different
we do
police.
not need to reinstate the Selamite.
Yeah. I don't know, I was trying to come up with an analogy.
Well, it didn't help that I got distracted midway through, so there's a
Yeah.
part where I didn't hear.
You
and
had a
I'm
decent
I tried-
analogy. It is like the police. Sometimes the system gets corrupted. You need to clean it out and reinstate
Yeah,
what
I
it is
actually
supposed to be.
I backpedaled away from that one because the Selamites weren't corrupt. They were just a system of government that did not approve of the mages. So they were not corrupt within themselves. They were not something that everybody liked,
But they were not.
but they were not
themselves.
inherently corrupt.
However, the analogy still stands.
Yeah.
Sometimes you do need to, and you're playing the crowd as this is happening. Very obviously, the joy of a 30-person room compared to the concilium is that you're getting feedback from 30 different people, and you can factor and focus on what you want versus what you don't want. In that vein, I'm going to have you roll wits or manipulation, plus empathy or socialize. Your choice. Whatever dice pool is factor.
What's a good?
No, I'm better at manipulation.
What would be a good subterfuge specialty for this scene?
Did you get an exceptional?
I did.
Double top.
Okay.
One or two?
Two.
Two successes. Okay. So you're able to. So, one of the things that it seems like the vast majority. Well, I mean, 30 people, so it's hard to have the vast majority, but the majority are very clearly focused on is that phrase, that concept that sometimes you need to eliminate the corruption and start something over again. It speaks to a mentality that is prevalent in the majority.
As they want to be the concilium.
The fact that you continue on with the Selamites' purpose and their goals also speaks to a significant minority, but combined with the majority previous, you have a much broader stroke of the audience. There are, however, a few dissidents.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe 5 out of a 30.
So I'll finish my spiel pretty much right on 5 minutes at the dot and be done.
Okay.
And wait for questions.
So Murata takes the podium again and says, Combined Assemblies of Sidis, you have the case. Are there any questions? There's a ping from the monitor.
Did the monitor just raise its hand? That's adorable.
Does it have a little emoji that comes up on the screen?
No, it makes an audible noise. Murata turns and says, Sid? And he says,
Sid.
We met Sid.
Not a Steven.
No, Sid has shown up in the adventure log, however.
Yes, okay, alright.
Meanwhile, Nikki doesn't know if Sid is somebody that's actually being Skyped in or an AI. And in this particular room, either are equally likely.
That's legitimate, actually.
An AI mage? That'd be terrifying.
Sid pipes up and he says, not so much a question for the assembled, but a question for you. And for, not so much a question for our guests, but a question for the assembled and for you, Murata. Go ahead. Do we trust them enough to share our plans with them?
I'm waiting for one person to say that.
Perfect poker hit.
I'm listening very intently, perfect poker face, for anyone anywhere that says anything negative.
Well, previously, where there had been some minor whisperings between people, like back and forth, like you have in a group of 30 people, everybody went the fuck silent.
I think that we'd all like to use perfect poker face to keep from bursting out laughing at the "Do we trust them enough?"
Do we trust them enough? This is why democracies don't work.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pretty much.
And Murata just looks at Sid. Our ongoing projects, being as they are in the research and development phase and do not have practical applications as of yet, are not a valid topic of conversation at the moment. Unless anyone in the room has a viable argument for why we should. The glare that she gives everyone. Oh my god.
I'm gonna, when she takes that pause,
Okay.
when she takes that pause, you saw I started to say it,
Mhm.
but I didn't want to interrupt the. She had a distinctive pause. She said
Yeah.
one statement where she said no,
Right.
I'm-
And then she starts with unless.
but she had a pause.
Yeah.
I'm devil's advocating that on that. So as soon as she says that, I activate devil's advocate. Everyone in the room will disagree that it is not a valid thing to hide from us.
Okay. I will make
Everybody
you roll
agree?
because you're affecting a large group of magi. So I'm instituting my
Legit.
optional defensive rolls if possible. Yes, they do get a gnosis bonus. So what is there a roll for it?
No, I roll.
Okay.
The highest resolve in the room.
Okay, so it will be the highest resolve plus gnosis. Is it a penalty or a roll off?
It's a penalty.
Okay. Never mind. So you're taking a -8.
Okay.
No. You're taking a -8 because they're two separate modifiers to your roll.
You had brought this up earlier, and I thought it was funny. Number 3.
Oh yeah. I read about that. I was like, that sounds funny.
Well, my demonic form doesn't look like any of your guys's apparently. Because you guys all look fairly classic demon.
I'm spending a willpower.
Mine looks like a marionette.
Oh, nice.
Oh, jeez. So that's the void point. Oh, whoops.
I mean, a
Why am I
marionette
re-rolling
as
that one?
seen
That one's a
through the
success.
lens of Tron, because everything has this weird
Electric.
electric.
Well, that's just,
okay.
just like my demon's form was
Yes.
based off of Catholic Visions of
7.
Seraphim
Alright.
from Ezekiel.
Which,
Because that's who
what-
my
I mean,
demon was affecting.
1.6.
So, it
So
looks
7,
different.
which I believe means I get to pick how vehemently. The character controls how vehemently the target disagrees. She might decide that the target only quibbles with a particular point of the stated position, or that he feels such immediate and intense disgust that he gets up and leaves the room.
Can it affect crowds?
Yeah, because it's the highest resolve present.
Okay. Let me read for a second.
In their examples,
I feel like having the whole room disagree with her is going to be a quick way to turn this into a mess.
yeah.
So I
Well,
might
at least
be,
if you got the whole room, you can make it very minor. Like,
Yeah.
people want to talk about it rather than just be
I'm
quiet.
making it
Okay.
minor.
Okay.
I'm making it.
I was
it-
gonna say, I'm like, I feel like dramatically the best option is either what you have, which is a minor disagreement from everyone, or a specific targeted individual who speaks up.
Yeah, I would.
Does Detective Mathers know who would be a key person to have be the disagreeing that would chain affect it to get what he wants?
Sometimes I hate being a nice storyteller. Sid is the obvious choice because he brought it up in the first place. That is dangerous. There are things in play.
Yeah. So if Sid disagreed with it and he's the one that brought up that concern,
It makes absolutely perfect sense. However, it's dangerous.
I'm gonna do the whole room.
Okay.
They politely, strongly disagree.
Okay. What do you think? What are you thinking? Oh, you look like you were about to say something, so I was like,
I was gonna
Dimitri
say.
is completely quiet. He is 100% human.
And humans in groups of supernaturals keep their fucking mouth shut.
Yeah.
Yes, they do.
I was going to say, not necessarily in character, but it might be easier to target somebody who seems respected. Because even though everybody is quote unquote equal, not everybody is going to be viewed with the same amount of respect.
Well, if Ryohan was here, I would just target him.
He's-
However, if Ryohan was here, I would have had a higher than -8 penalty.
Well, not by much. It would have only been -10.
Yeah.
Well, if Ryohan was here, he would already want to do what it is we're trying to argue for, since he's the one who told us to do it.
Yeah, that's yeah. It's like also
Thank you,
I have a, it's like I go to use it against Ryohan. Have a plus 10 to your dice pool. Why?
Because he agrees
Why?
with you.
Because he already agrees with you.
Great idea.
He bolsters your embed with his own magic.
Okay, so, so unless someone can present a better argument as to why we should, a spindly gentleman stands up. Moore unfolds himself from the chair. I realize that those are cliches, but there isn't a better description for what he does. He just kind of, like, I mean, these are auditorium seats, so they snap up, but he just kind of pulls himself out. Ugh. Thank God for perfect poker face, because that seems at the very limits of what humans should be capable of, as far as their motion and joints. And he speaks. His voice carries, but it is pitched very low, and very somber, for lack of a better term. President Murata, I object. She looks at him. Alternately, I'm going to murder you and go on.
Parliament demands that you speak.
I've been waiting for this to be a potent embed. I'm so glad I have it.
I feel that it is my opinion that there is no group better suited to the resurgence of this vigil, and as Ryohan is the one who has instigated this meeting, be it from the future or not,
By proxy.
by proxy, we should consider that his research plays into the meeting here today. If no other project is revealed, let us reveal the work that Sid has done in conjunction with Membrane.
I thought I casually glanced the faces of the rest of the Senate.
I'm not casually glancing, I'm watching them. That's what I'm doing.
Everyone is not. Most people are nodding in agreement. Like, yes, absolutely.
Good job.
Sid, please,
She says with acid.
you have the floor.
Shit! Take that, Marauder!
That he is in the future. I will kill him. Sid speaks up. One of the... We've taken to naming the project Ryohan's Legacy, even though we don't know that he's dead. But we also don't have any indication that he's still alive, other than what your group has brought forth to us. He's speaking at Vivian, mostly because that's where he's angled, and you can see very little beyond his face. He's in line with the podium. It is certainly a matter of concern for the Concilium, if I might tangent for a little bit, that Ryohan's whereabouts are unknown. And neither are any of the drinkers of Aleph. We might disagree with the Concilium's practice, but we are all one society, and we all need to take care of one another. Do I believe that the Concilium is at fault for these disappearances? I have no proof that they're not. Which is a sentiment that is echoed by the rest of the room, perhaps somewhat dangerously. That being said, the legacy that the Ryohan left behind is a project meant to observe and monitor the boundaries of Sidus. Well, within the boundaries of a Sidus. And Sid goes on to describe what sounds, for all intents and purposes, like an angel. There's no... He describes to you what you could easily see fulfilling an occult matrix to bring about infrastructure, not that would create an angel, but that would serve the God Machine to be eyes and ears. He is basically telling you that the Free Council is on the verge of creating a system by which the God Machine can monitor all of the supernaturals of the cities in real time. And he says it with such pride and, like, memorial dedication towards Ryuhan.
It's literally a project that can identify what the supernatural is, what they're doing when they activate powers.
And the God Machine's got his fingers in it.
And the God Machine's all like,
Sweet!
thanks, guys! This would be one of those things where if we were actually, like, reviewing a movie, they'd cut to that clip of everybody slapping their forehead in progressively larger groups.
And then he ends with, Membrane has been an invaluable assistance to me in the creation of this project as well. The project has come across some hindrances. Murata is suddenly looking...
And some more in the future.
And some more in the future. Murata suddenly
As
looks...
we assassinate every single person.
No! Bad!
When he says hindrances, more than a few people in the room suddenly look concerned and surprised, including Murata.
Would these hindrances happen to be unexplained external influence?
Sid looks curious and says, well, unexplained certainly, and external is questionable.
It's gonna be less questionable when if it's external when Hey, this is great. This is actually the demons solving a problem that the Makers of Aleph created.
There's a voice that speaks out from the tablet that is
Okay,
not Sid's. Oh, wait till you get back, Shade.
Oh, okay. So you
What-
guys can
what are
just
you-
sit
what are
and
you
wonder
doing?
what the person's gonna say.
She's going to the bathroom.
Whore.
Ah, suspense.
Only whores go pee. I have to pee.
I already went to pee.
I have not gone pee. I'm clearly not a whore.
I don't believe you.
I ain't getting paid for this shit.
Legit. Okay. That's true.
I'm gonna bring all these plans to ruin. All right.
Well,
so
I will
in this
tell you-
interim, while we got this great pause, I'm gonna heart's desire every fucker in the room.
Heart Desire Murata.
Well, of course, I'm gonna
And
heart's
Sid.
desire.
We need Murata and Sid.
You can't Hearts Desire Sid.
Shit.
He's
He's not
here.
using a scarring portal, and he's not currently present. If it was a legitimate... Here's what's weird.
Oh, shit.
As you're thinking about your embeds versus Sid, Sid is not using a scrying portal, but there's no lagging.
So a really dick thing to do, after having turned the entire Senate against Murata,
I was thinking of turning the entire Senate against itself and just getting it dissolved into chaos and getting the fuck out.
Getting the fuck out.
Like, get this project tanked as fast as humanly possible is my current goal.
what if I use Trust No One on Murata?
Interesting.
I think we can conjunctify ourselves into a nice little amalgamation of powers to make this dissolve into a horrible social pit of Senate nothing happening. We can turn this into the U.S. Senate in about 5 seconds.
And we could add, certain people could be combustible.
Yes.
I'm just saying.
Well, we do like to end this project. Bullets will need to go into people, and people will need to burn.
Okay, I am just
So
so
let's
happy.
start
Because I think we're all in
Yeah.
agreement in this that this project needs to die.
Are we done?
Alright, so what is the voice?
No, hold on. I'm so happy that Nikki and Poe have the same goal of stopping this.
Ridiculous! ridiculous nonsense. What are you thinking?
That I'm actually making it an aspiration.
I am all for
I have an open aspiration slot as well.
Yeah.
Ruin Riohan's plans.
Yes.
The wine is gone. Why is the wine gone?
Did you want the rest of mine?
Well, yes, I do. I'm a whore.
Yeah, you are.
me
But
one.
yeah, I've never replaced the finished investigating the fucking mental institution.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so there we go.
Kill this project.
Kill this project.
Kill Ryohan's legacy.
I want that one too.
Okay.
I don't know how to spell Ryo.
Ryuhon.
Correct. So, a voice from Sid's tablet speaks. It sounds delightfully feminine.
Is that what the voice said, or is that a description of the voice?
That is a description of the voice.
Okay.
I'm also debating on whether or not I should make you roll for the next bit of information. Yeah, go for it. Wits plus composure.
Oh, Christ.
Is that perception?
Is that
Yes!
Can I use wits investigation?
No.
Politics?
No.
Can I use wits subterfuge?
Ooh.
No.
Can I spend a willpower?
Yes.
Yes.
2 successes.
I have an extra willpower. I might as well use it.
Smoking
I
gun.
kind of, like, I'm making this roll because I want the drama of some people perhaps recognizing it while others in the group don't perhaps recognize it and not being able to tell each other. 5 successes. Okay.
What was the other option
Roll an extra 2 dice.
that you were considering?
No, there wasn't one. Plus composure.
We all tried. It failed.
He paused on subterfuge. Didn't he? Didn't he?
I did, but I decided against it.
Okay.
It was the one he had to think of.
That's what I had to think of.
It was the only one that kind of came in there.
I almost want to resolve spooked.
For when you figure out what it is and then you do something stupid.
'Cause that's the way I love to resolve spook.
I'm like, that's what Spook says! You do something that hinders the party because you're scared!
And
We'll see.
I'm just laying it out there because Aaron, specifically, is terrified of fucking angels.
Oh, I know. That's why I gave you an extra 2 dice.
Okay.
I'm like, I'm aware. I know what's happening here.
Okay.
How many?
Shit. 2.
Yeah,
One.
there's 2.
1.
2. 2. 9. 9. 9. 9.
No, that was an extra one that I was
Oh.
making to complete the I got one.
She's making
Did everyone get at least 1 success? Oh, god damn it. Oh well. Oh well.
Foiled.
Does anyone want to fail for a beat?
I will fail for a beat.
But then you can't resolve Spook.
Oh, well, never mind then. I can't
I will
fail.
fail for a beat.
That's fine. No, that's not in the rules. It's just the dramatic potential of the scene. The 3 of you who made it, you can almost hear in the depths of that voice the turning of gears.
Good.
And the voice speaks through the tablet, and it says, Sid is not versed in the parameters of the being that has taken offense to our operation. However, it is one that is rare and frequently unencountered in the modern day. Something ancient and primal of which I have very little record in my database. I believe you refer to them as the children of the Dark Mother.
Do we
No one in the room knows what the fuck that is, much less any of the fuck you guys.
Can I make an estimated guess?
No.
Demons don't know about that.
Uh-huh.
No, I don't. I'm guessing. If you're referring to a specific thing, I don't know it.
Presumably vampires?
I was thinking Lilith.
Well, yes, Lilith is the Dark Mother.
Okay.
And you've heard of vampires referring to themselves as the children of Lilith, particularly the Circle of the Crone. So maybe vampires? But you'd expect a room full of mages to at least have some rudimentary understanding of vampires, and everybody looks confused.
Okay. Well, I'm thinking Lilith was supposed to have spawned all kinds of demons. So maybe vampires and other things. Do we not know what beasts are?
No.
Okay.
No.
Beasts and demons take great pains to stay away from one another because the beast powers don't work on demons. None of the kinship powers, none of it works on demons.
Do demon powers work on beasts?
Only as far as they work on regular mortals. And beasts still get to add their layer rating when they resist.
Oh, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Yarr shit.
Yep.
So beasts are also against the Big Brother project?
Everyone's against Big Brother Project.
Yeah, it was.
It's
almost like
insane that they
was-
have this still running.
It's almost like it was poorly conceived.
It's almost like someone pushed some buttons. Oh, God Machine, you tipped your hand, and we did ours too, but that's okay. Maybe.
Well, we spoofed it.
Oh, I don't think.
But I'm coming in here them
Yeah.
knowing I'm a demon.
Yeah.
The
it's-
mages.
No.
They have a thing that's working as the God Machine. The God Machine now, the mages know the God Machine now knows it's right fucking there.
Yeah, it was on the docket. Meeting with demons. 5
I mean,
o'clock.
like, that actually raises a good point. You are more than welcome to take the flagged or surveilled condition.
I'll take the flag condition.
Okay. I was like,
That's
I mean,
that's
it's
the
narr-
position I have in the group at the moment. Is the
Here's the condition. I am currently flagged.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
like, it makes narrative sense that being the person who has been identified as a demon to this group, the angel that is observing would have the knowledge that you are a demon, and thus would flag you. However, since said angel then since you then spoofed that angel, it's very confused.
Well, I
So-
think that angels would understand that demons have
Right.
the ability to hide.
Not always.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's why
It's-
they have
in the
specific
source
class of
material.
destroyers.
There's a lot of disconnect that angels don't understand how demons work.
Yeah.
That's why they had me.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Yeah.
was gonna say, well, of course angels can't understand how demons work, otherwise they might become demons.
The more we convince them how demons work, the more they might fall.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which is our great boon.
Yep. Okay.
Yep.
My bad. Or rather.
So we can always try and make this angel fall.
I'm gonna try to double talk the shit out of this angel.
At any rate,
At any rate,
the angel has spoken, people look confused, and
I look at Sid's screen where the voice came from, and I said, "You speak of Sid with such high compassion. Have you two known each other long?"
Murata looks at you like you don't have the floor.
I'm not even looking at Murata.
She doesn't matter anymore. There's an angel.
I know, but everyone else is like, is that someone will actually speak up? Is that relevant?
I kind of turn, and I'm using perfect poker face. Like, I keep half my face, the side that's towards the screen, completely blank, and the other half just kind of gives this look of, like, more so than you could imagine.
How does that look?
Not like what he wants it to look.
Not like how I want it to look like.
Like, okay, it looks less like you're conveying an emotion and more like you're having a seizure.
it looks like a stroke, the deadpan. And then the, oh my god!
Yeah, it's like.
Yeah.
It's not going to do what you
I
want.
mean, they get it barely, but they get it. Go on.
I wait for the voice to respond.
The voice, like Sid is typing, and the voice doesn't respond, and Sid finally responds, yes, yes. Well, a decent amount of time. We've been working on Riohan's Legacy together.
What is her name? Or what does she go by?
Now it's like obvious confusion on the part of everyone in the room. Membrane.
An AI?
Yes.
That's the thing that Riohan's Legacy is also called membrane.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay. Wasn't it?
Mm.
Okay.
Membrane is a thing that's helping
Membrane's the
create
thing
legacy.
Sid made to help.
Okay.
And you made it all by yourself.
No. Actually, membrane is a leftover from other acquisitions.
Oh, Christ.
There are smiles in some of the older people in the room, and that same satisfied smile that comes from taking loot, shall we say?
Yeah.
Anyone can roll wit plus empathy because I think the players have the wrong one, but I might be wrong.
What's supposed to be
One.
what you said?
Yes, correct.
I have spooked too, by the way.
Okay.
If you want to tag team on this, spooked.
It's like the instinct is to believe that they're proud because they stole it from the God Machine, but they were unaware of the God Machine until you came to this room. So they stole it from the Concilium.
So I'm not sure how to express it.
Okay.
So I would like to boil it down to a roll.
Okay.
Using my double talk.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to state in a manner that conveys to them without flat out saying it that that is not an AI, that is a piece of the God Machine, and that their enemy is in their home.
Is that something we want to do right now, or something that we want to take some people aside and do later?
Do you want to resolve spooked, or
I
do
wanna
you
resolve
not want to
spooked.
resolve spooked?
God damn it.
I want to resolve spooked. Would you like to help me with this?
I will allow you both to resolve with the teamwork.
I want to team on top of it at the end.
Okay.
I need to resolve flagged first.
So you don't want to let the God Machine know that you are onto it because you're a regular human.
No,
Yes.
she wants to prove that
Done.
this is a human.
Done.
I need
Yeah.
to prove that Dimitri is a normal human so I can resolve flagged,
Okay.
and then I can resolve spooked and do something really stupid.
I will let you roll wits plus empathy.
Okay.
Or, I'm sorry, wits plus subterfuge.
Okay.
Separately from these two, because
Okay.
you are then conveying that you are confused.
I am
Like you don't understand where this conversation is going.
Right? I'm just immortal, what the fuck?
This suddenly makes no sense. Most of the people in the room have no idea what is going on.
I'm spending
convey
willpower on
that
it.
I understand what's going on without removing my,
Oh.
without compromising my humanity cover in such a way that I have worked with demons long enough that I figured out what it is that has upset them.
I almost forgot to add my specialty dice.
Because I understand the problem as Nikki Swift. I understand what they have created is the infrastructure for the God Machine. And now somebody has spoken to them that hasn't spoken before, and both the demons in the room, or at least one of the demons, is very upset now. So infrastructure has been exposed, laid out, and said, look at this thing that we did that we're so proud of. And then someone else spoke up, and now the demons are really upset. So I think that this person might be an angel. So I don't look confused by what's going on.
Alright.
I just mostly look annoyed.
You are teamworking.
I am teamworking.
I'm gonna need you to explain how you're teamworking with it.
Oh. I'm going to resolve my saboteur condition. And after he makes his statement about that this is a thing in your midst, I'm going to pick out the people that have been worried about this project, and I'm going to bolster them with my saboteur bonus to make them completely irate and triggering, because I know exactly how to make Parliament fail, triggering my ability. I'm going to use parliamentary procedures to table the project and get them to do it. And cause this Parliament to collapse.
This is a really tall order for a condition. But
That is what I am trying to do. I only get a
Yes.
+3 to my roll. You can assess how many penalties you want to off of that.
so obviously manipulation plus subterfuge.
Oh, goody.
You get the +3 from the condition. I'm going to say you take a -2 because the people who want it tabled are a minority. But even if you fail, there's benefit to be had afterwards. So, roll it.
Two.
What am I rolling?
I don't know.
Oh, what are you rolling?
How many did you get?
7.
So 9.
So 9 to convince everybody in the Senate that
Oh my
that's
god.
God Machine bad. The AI membrane is an angel. We're part of God Machine.
Oh, I'm rolling to see if they
Let's
can.
burn the building down.
Such an angelic voice. No wonder it was welcomed in so readily and easily.
Yeah, Dimitri succeeded in 1, so he just looks confused.
He's like, what the fuck is going on? I don't know what's going on.
I'm mortal and squishy.
Help! 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 Wait, I need an adult. Not these adults. I need a real adult.
I need a real adult.
Actually, this could be an interesting little side note since we're pretending to be human. If he looks confused, my character doesn't look confused. My character just looks upset. If it looks to me, I could give him an explanation that I think as a human is subtle,
But turns out not to be.
but turns out not to be because of all the mages.
Well, the assembly as a whole ends up getting 5 successes on an attempt to understand the double talk that he is laying down.
And then the double talk and parliamentary procedures that I'm throwing out.
So they succeed in understanding it?
Yes. They succeed in understanding what you're saying. Well, okay, wait, no, you got 7 successes. So, membrane only gets a chance die.
Because
Because
the successes,
she's basically penalized by
my
your
successes.
successes because she's the one that you're trying to keep information from.
Okay.
That's how I'm running it.
That's a good use. That's a good run for double drop, actually.
So the audience that you are speaking to needs to succeed on the roll with plus subterfuge to understand your double talk, whereas the people that you're trying to hide it from need to exceed your successes on the roll. Contest your roll, basically.
Yeah.
Choose a succeed. So, Sid doesn't roll, FYI. When I say the assembly, it's the present assembly,
Okay.
not Sid. Who is present for all legal purposes, but not necessarily any actual purposes. And so the assembly, so, you know, you make some comments, and you make some comments, and everyone is kind of quickly placed into a froth, shall we say.
Good.
Murata slams down a gavel and says, "Enough!" And the room goes quiet. Sid, thank you for your input. We're going to continue the meeting without you. Sid responds very confused with, "I have rights as your senator to be involved in these discussions." Murata responds with, "Yes. We'll call you back when the Senate is ready to discuss a vote." Okay. And the person next to them.
It's like, how do we tell Sid he's kicked out of the Senate at the moment because we don't want the angel to hear what we talk about?
The room then erupts into a chorus of voices, some yelling at each other, some yelling at Murata. There's like maybe 5 people who are yelling about, "This is what we warned you about, we told you it was a bad idea, that degree of observation is completely unnecessary, you're all hindered by your war-mongering, conquistador obtaining asses."
The funny part is, Riohan's intention behind the original project had nothing to do with war. It had to do with like learning and documentation and history and
That's how all the great spy
Yeah.
things
Yeah.
start out with. I just want to learn things. Look what we can do with this.
Well, basically, it was information gathering for one, removing people that cause paradox too often, because there was issues with that.
Yep.
And identifying who they were, and then also so that we could learn more. And then people decided to use it so they could learn more.
Yeah. And he was also trying to use it as a way to start documenting how to detect awakenings.
Oh yeah, that too.
I'm
Yeah,
sure
that was-
you had the purest of intentions when you did it.
As a player, I full well knew what I was doing. As the character, Riohan, no, he had not seen the ugly side of advancement in technology.
In humanity?
No,
In general?
in the use of technology for the purpose of humanity.
And he didn't
Um,
tell the rest of his cabal what he was doing.
Because it was free council business, and they were not part of the free council.
Because otherwise there were people that could explain to him,
Look what you're doing.
no, this is bad.
This is
This is
bad.
bad. Blanket security. Bad.
Bad.
So, like, That literally gets shouted across the room, and people start shouting back, like, this is what we have to do. The Concilium is still hiding things. They have access to resources that we don't even know, and that we've already taken from them and can't use. Murata is participating in this yelling match. Like, she's by no means an innocent or by any means a moderator anymore. She's like, fuck you! I do what I have to do to keep this place safe. Like, it's dissolving into quickly dissolving into chaos. One individual, white robes, turban, gets up, seemingly completely unnoticed by the rest of the free council assembly, and walks in.
Have we seen White Robe Man before?
No. He is part of a majority who are using their yelling to mask his departure. That much is very clear.
Well,
Kill that person.
I
actually,
slip
no.
outside.
I'm considering. Do we as demons know that the Selenite Order was primarily,
Eric?
yeah.
Yes. I'm gonna say you guys have done enough research that, yeah.
So we know that, and we know the Selenite Order was welcomed with open arms. And we see a guy, a German, who has no real desire to argue. Could we not postulate that he is Selenite Order X?
That's a fair assumption.
We very much don't want that person.
Actually, we want one of you socialites to sneak out and intercept him.
I sure will. Get right on that.
I was about to, and I was like, no, I'm not. No.
Dex plus stealth, if you'd be so kind. If you have a specialty in crowds, you get that. If you
I will provide.
even still, there is such a distraction going that you gain a +3 bonus.
There you go.
Okay, +3 bonus.
It's very easy for your ring to just kind of move in such a way that you can sneak out.
Okay, I'm sorry. Can I use expression activate as a
No.
No, shit. Okay. So stealth was on here somewhere. There it is. Shit.
No dots?
No dots.
You take a -1, but you still have the plus.
Yeah.
Now, meant net +2.
And dexterity. Okay.
No one is paying significant attention, so the roll isn't contested.
Did I move her?
Not after the roll, but you can turn it into a dramatic failure if you'd like.
I would not like to turn into a failure. People can notice. Fuck
Yeah.
it.
Alright. So a few people notice Murata, chief among them. Actually, combining with your dramatic failure from earlier, not to enforce a dramatic failure on you, but the key people in the room notice that you've left. And they notice who you've gone after. It's fine, it won't affect the scene to come.
Okay.
It's just, it doesn't affect the scene to come. It does change, I'm telling you because you have no other way of knowing, it does change the NPC's opinion of your place within the group. So your facade is cracked ever so slightly.
It could be a high-ranking minion of demons.
You could be. You could be. That's why I didn't shatter it completely. So, the Senate, the combined assembly of the Free Council is dissolved into yelling at each other on the purposes of war, on not the purposes of war, on the righteousness of their cause. Point number 1, for those who are paying attention to what is being yelled about, on the righteousness of their cause, on their use of technology in war, and on their ability to hold the city by themselves. What is not being discussed is perhaps just as important. On the value of the Concilium, or its mages, as members of the Acidus magical community. There's one thing that this group doesn't care about, and it's the people it left behind.